Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast. And it is Mock Draft Monday. We're going to try another strategy this year. We're going to try the bye week strategy. There are 6 excellent fantasy teams that are all on bye for week 7 of the fantasy season. So let's see what kind of team we can build by selecting only players from those teams and see how that team rates. So definitely want to check it out. Here we go.
Listen up. It's time for the Fantasy Maverick podcast, starring the guy who's going to help you win that fantasy championship, Jimmy Maverick.
Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast. And today we are going to do a mock draft strategy. We are going to try the bye week strategy. That is the strategy where you choose all your players that have the same bye week. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take the loss on that week. But then on every other week of the season, you are at full strength. You don't have any players on bye. That does give you an advantage for what is relatively a small sacrifice. Now this year, there's only 1 week that has 6 teams on bye. And let me tell you what, it is 6 awesome fantasy teams. It is week 7, the week 7 bye. And the teams that are on bye are Minnesota, Dallas, Buffalo, the LA Chargers, Pittsburgh, and Jacksonville. It's very rare that you see 6 excellent fantasy teams all available on a single bye week. Excuse me. Usually, there's like 1 or 2 duds in there. But this is actually a very intriguing strategy. Now, the other nice thing about this strategy is that it has, in the first round, 3 players available. If you go early, you can take Dalvin Cook. If you go in the middle, you can take Zeke Elliott. If you go late, you can take Stephon Diggs. So there's 3 excellent options in the first round to start the strategy. Now, I did try the strategy late, and going with Stephon Diggs first does it makes it more difficult. So I'm thinking this is a better strategy if you're going early to mid. So if you can get Zeke, and Zeke's been known to fall to the 7th or 8th pick, you can go with it. But I'm going to go with a draft from the 6th draft position and see what kind of team we can get. Now, there's 2 issues that I want to talk about. The first issue is the one weakness of all these fantasy teams is that they don't have a good tight end option. The best tight end option is Irv Smith from Minnesota. And certainly, if we're just going to go late taking a tight end, that's great. But I've really wanted to go elite tight end in this league. So I'm debating them with myself. Do I just break this strategy, go with an elite tight end in the top 3 rounds, get myself Kittle, Kelsey, or Waller, and then maybe grab like Irv Smith late, just so I have an elite tight end option. I think that's really important this season. Or do I maybe just go with a couple of these tight ends late and just try to load up on the best running backs and wide receivers and quarterback that I can to offset the weakness in that position. So I think maybe we'll go with that strategy for this draft. Also, one of the things I do with the strategy is I engage the strategy until I have both a running back and a wide receiver on my bench for this bye week strategy. Once I've filled that, so my whole starting lineup plus 2 bench slots are all with that strategy, I'm gonna turn off the bye week strategy, and I'm just gonna go with best available for my final 4 picks. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get to it. So we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to help us find players. You can go to my website and check it out today. This is when you get to you just click on this to start the app. And when you get in there, it's going to ask you 3 questions. So the 3 questions are, how does your league score points? We're going to do a half-point PPR. Do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? I'm going to say no because we're going to engage the bye week filters. That's different. So I'm going to say no here. So all the players are still in. And then do you want to enter draft mode? And we do. And we're going to do a 12-team draft from the 6th position. So that gives us a very high probability that we will be able to get Zeke Elliott. And again, if you're going 7th or 8th and Zeke makes it to you, you could do the strategy. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So let's go ahead. We'll enter draft mode. You can see the player list right here. Here's the position filters. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pop in the round filters for each round of the draft. I'm going to minimize the recommendations because we're going to remove a majority of the players from this list. So we go to the player filter and you click on bye week. You can see that we have bye weeks from week 6 to week 14 this year. All the other weeks have two teams or 4 teams on bye. 7 is the only one with 6 teams, and that's really the only viable one. The other ones, it's just so restrictive. If you only have 4 teams, doesn't matter how great those teams are. There's just not enough players on the draft list to fulfill the strategy. So all we're going to do is we're just going to eliminate all the other players from those other bye weeks. So you can see players are falling off the board right now. All right. Oh, and hopefully this did continue. Okay, so you can see here in the first round, we've got 3 options. We got Stephon Diggs, we got Zeke Elliott, and we got Austin Eckler. They all are great on the VORC score. Obviously, we want to start out with an elite running back. That's super important to get yourself one of those options. And so we'll go with Zeke as our first choice. Now, I already have the draft started over on Fantasy Pros. It's all set to those settings. And you can see here that Zeke is still on the board. He is still available. So he's going to be the guy we're going to take first. But let's just look to the second round and see what players are available. So in the second round for this draft strategy, you can see that Eckler's a long shot. Then we've got Najee Harris. We got Keenan Allen and Justin Jefferson. So let's go ahead and get these 4 guys on the queue. Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Keenan Allen, and Justin Jefferson. So there's wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen. Great. So we got some really good options here. Let's go ahead and take Zeke and see what happens. So we'll go ahead and we'll take Zeke. We got 13 picks to our next pick. It looks like Najee got taken early. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so it looks like both of the running backs we were targeting, Eckler and Najee, all got drafted early. But we still have an elite option at wide receiver. Now, Justin Jefferson, I'm not huge on this year just because of the regression risk. But Keenan Allen, I think, is an excellent choice with the second-year upside development of Herbert, the quarterback. I kind of like going with that. Obviously, Jefferson offers better value, and maybe we'll go just for this draft. Let's go Justin Jefferson. Now the next pick, because it looks like Keenan Allen could make it to us at our third pick. So you can see for the third round we got Allen, Lamb, and Cooper. So let's go ahead and get Lamb and Cooper marked up here. And so if we have the potential to get Allen on the next pick, or taking CeeDee Lamb, who I totally love as a pick this year, let's go ahead. Let's take Justin Jefferson with our second pick. And then you can see, okay, so Keenan Allen did not make it to us, but Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb did. So they did make it. And look at this. Somehow, some way, George Kittle made it to our third pick. So this is an option. This is an option you can take. Get yourself an elite tight end, because there's no elite tight ends on these bye-week teams, and then we can take Irv Smith later. I kind of like that idea. Let's look at the fourth round options to see who's available. So you can see Lamb's a long shot. There's also Josh Allen. There's Travis Etienne. Etienne, I think, would make a great RB2. So we got Allen, Etienne, and then we got Thielen and Deontay Johnson as long shots. As reaches. But Allen and Etienne, let's go ahead and put them on the queue. So we got Allen. We've got Etienne. We've got Thielen and Johnson. Let's go down here. There's Thielen and Deontay Johnson's right there. So the chance that we could get CeeDee Lamb maybe on the next round, as like a 50-50 shot, it's not guaranteed. And looking at the way this draft is going, things have not been going our way. So they're bound to start heading that way. I love the idea of getting Kittle. And so we're gonna break the strategy for this round. We're gonna take Kittle just to get that elite option in the tight end position. We'll grab Irv Smith later, so we can still fit with our week 7 bye thing if we want to do that. So let's go. Let's take Kittle. And okay. CeeDee Lamb did not make it, but look, Amari Cooper did. Amari Cooper in the 4th round is a great pick. Let's see here. If we put Cooper up, Cooper, he offers great value, like a full round of value here. Right now, he's just being suppressed because he's recovering from an injury. Once he gets that injury, once that injury mark gets cleared, he's going to be rated much better on the app. He's going to jump up into probably above Josh Allen, I would guess. But I'm comfortable taking Cooper, even though he is a bit of a risky, inconsistent player. We could also grab Etienne as our RB2. Let's look at the next round and see what wide receivers we could expect to get in the next round. So Deontay Johnson's a long shot, and then it's Dak Prescott. So there's really no wide receivers. So we get Mark Prescott. Allen got taken. In the 6th round, let's just jump to the 6th round. So we could get someone like Chase Claypool in the 6th round, who actually would be a really decent choice. Just looking at the thinness of the position right now for the 4th round, I think we really should get Etienne here. I think Etienne offers top 50 value, and I think his upside is tremendous in that offense. So let's go ahead, let's grab Etienne, and we'll just see who makes it to our next pick. So you can see, okay, so Thielen and Prescott did make it. So Thielen made it. So that's pretty good. I do have Thielen tagged as a regression candidate. But in the 5th round, because he was supposed to already be gone. So let's restore him. Thielen, rates very well. Fair value, pick 54, value rank 54th. He's not my optimal choice. Deontay Johnson did not make it to us, right? Deontay Johnson is gone. So I like the idea of going with Thielen here. I think he is definitely the best option. And then in the 6th round, again, we could get Chase Claypool or someone like that. So let's go ahead and we'll take Thielen. And in the 6th round, who are we looking at? We're looking at Claypool, Herbert, Chark, and James Robinson. Robinson, he's just not great value, But Claypool, Herbert, and Chark, we can get them on the list. Oops. So we got Chark, Claypool, and Herbert. So this will be the time to take Herbert. Obviously we can get another wide receiver here. Running backs kind of thin out here, don't they? Boy, not any options here. What about the 7th round? What does that look like? So the 7th round, Claypool and Chark are long shots. Juju Smith-Schuster, there's Zach Moss, who doesn't rate well, but might be might be the best option we can get for this bye week strategy. Plus, he would be our 3rd, so that's not bad. So let's get. We wanted to get like James Robinson also on the queue, so let's get him on the queue. James Robinson's there for the 7th round. Juju and Zach Moss, and Juju. There's Juju right there. Now, just looking at how the wide receivers are going, these guys are not going to make it to the next round. I can tell you that right now. We'll have 11 picks to our next pick, so we definitely need to take another wide receiver here. So we're right now we got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. So of these 3, the one that rates the highest is Chase Claypool. And we are at the 6th round pick. So let's see here. 6th round. Yeah, Chase Claypool rates the best value, about a round ahead of DJ Chark. So let's go ahead. Let's take Claypool. He'll be our flex. Big play availability there, so I like that. So look at this. Let's see our bye weeks. Just a beautiful 7s all the way down. So that's what we want. So now we are at the 7th pick, and you can see here that we on the queue, who's still available. Oh, Chark made it. Chark's a much better pick for the 7th round. Robinson's still available. I think he's a good choice. Zach Moss. These guys are all good choices. Let's get the 8th round queued up. So for the 8th round, what does it look like? LaVisca. That's it. That's the only one. All right. So let's get him queued. Oh, wrong list. Let's go down here. LaVisca. There you are. So I like the idea of going with another running back here. So for the 7th round, obviously we know Zach. So let's go James Robinson and Zach Moss. Is he still on there? Moss is there. So Robinson rates better, and the value rank is better. I think we really need to get that depth. We need to take that. So let's go ahead. We'll take James Robinson. And look, Zach Moss did make it along with LaVisca. I love the idea of getting LaVisca as our 4th wide receiver. That would be very, very good. But let's just look ahead. So we're now in the 8th round. So let's look to the 9th round, see what kind of players are available. So LaVisca is a long shot to make it to the next round, but we got Singletary, Pollard, and then here's Irv Smith. So Singletary, let's see here. Singletary and Pollard, and then we've got Irv Smith. Irv Smith's right there. Irv Smith is a reach. I think he definitely would make it to the 10th round. I'm not worried about that at all. What are we looking at for quarterbacks right now? Because we kind of missed on the elite options, right? So now we're kind of moving. Trevor Lawrence in the 10th round would be a quarterback we could take, and I'm totally fine with taking Lawrence as my QB1. We then have Kirk Cousins in the 11th round, who's maybe not that exciting for upside. So those are kind of the options. Ben Roethlisberger goes way late. So that's something to look at. So right now, if we look at our options here, do I want to gamble that LaVisca would make it to our next pick? That is the question here. And if we do have to take, Lawrence in the 10th, that means we got 2 more picks here. So I think I'm going to gamble on Shenault. I'm probably going to regret this, but let's see if he makes it. If you look at how deep he is on the wide receiver list right now. Oh, not deep at all. Jeez. All right. And Zach Moss is probably right at the top, too. So there's no way both of them are going to make it back with 11 picks. So I'm going to have to bypass one. I really want the upside of Shenault more than I want. Chenault's value much more significant than any of those other guys, than Zach Moss. So let's go ahead. We'll take Shenault. And look, Moss did make it to us. Holy cow. That's that's really good. So if we look at how does he rank in the 9th round, let's just see here. Moss right there. Let's restore him. Again, Fork score is just terrible. It's because his value sucks. But there is something that maybe he could, he's got upside, and we do need another running back before we take our quarterback. So let's go ahead. Let's take Moss. And then we were talking about the 10th round, and I didn't queue up the 10th round. I'm sorry about that. So we got Mike Williams, Gallup, and Jones as wide receivers. And looks like I see Williams just went off the board there. So Williams, I'm sorry, who were the other ones? Gallup and Jones. So Gallup, is he already on? Gallup's gone. And Marvin Jones is still there. Who else is on the list? Trevor Lawrence. Let's go up here. Trevor Lawrence. This is the guy we were targeting. He's still there. Look at that. Tom Brady's still on the board. Tannehill's still on the board. Whew, boy. With only 11 picks between us, 1, 2, 3, 4. I gambled on Trevor Lawrence last week in a live draft, and I regretted it because he didn't make it back to me. And so I'm afraid that if I did this, it would come back and it would be like Joe Burrow. Tough to pass on Brady or Tannehill, though. That's really tough. But again, we're going with the strategy. We're seeing what happens. We are in the 10th round right now. If we look at the 11th round, obviously Kirk Cousins would be our fallback for the strategy. But look, Cole Beasley, Alexander Mattison. Let's get those guys queued up. So Alexander Mattison, Cole Beasley. right there, and Kirk Cousins there. Okay. So I'm not going to gamble this time. The app is telling me to take Trevor Lawrence here, even though Brady is still available. Now, you know what I could do? Break the strategy slightly where we go Brady, and then if Lawrence is available on the next pick, we could take him, or we could take Kirk Cousins on the following pick after that. I usually don't take two quarterbacks though, but it's so hard to pass up Tom Brady in the 10th round here. That's something that I don't think I can do. So let's go ahead. I will take a bye week 7 quarterback on a later round, but I'm going to take Brady right now. So let's just go ahead and take Brady. And I love that. And look, everybody made it to the next round. Look at that. So Lawrence did make it. That's great. So we're in the 11th round right now. Let's look at the 12th round players. And so you can see there's a nice blend of players that you can choose from here. There really hasn't been any rounds which have like one player, where it's been super limited, and our cute players have made it to us. So Blake Jarwin is the only player that we need to add on this next round. So let's put Jarwin on there. Jarwin, and you see Irv Smith is here. Irv Smith is going to be gone by the next round if we don't take him. Trevor Lawrence is still there. Again, it's a 13 picks to our next pick, so that's kind of a long trip. So as far as our roster goes right now, we've got Zeke, Etienne, James Robinson, and Zach Moss as our running backs. We've got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Chase Claypool, and Laviska Shenault as our wide receivers. Tight end is Kittle. Quarterback is Brady. And so I think I can totally pass on Irv Smith. I'm just not big on Irv Smith. I just don't think he's going to do anything. So I'm totally okay with going with like Blake Jarwin on a later round. Getting Lawrence, I think, would be really, really great for this team. And we're really good on wide receiver. I don't think I need to take another wide receiver. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Lawrence with this pick. And look, Irv Smith made it to us. Okay, Irv Smith made it to the next pick. So if we look at the roster, I didn't follow my own strategy. I've got all these guys with bye week 7, but that's because I took Brady and I took Kittle. So really, we are kind of still on schedule, but we can break the restrictions now and just go with best available. So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn off the bye week, and we are in round 12. So it's saying maybe James White. We don't need another quarterback for sure. We still have a ton of guys on the queue. Let's go ahead. Oh, Cole Beasley. But really, for this roster build, I don't need another wide receiver. Those 4 wide receivers are excellent. So I really don't need another one. I do need a tight end, and then I do need a running back. So who's the best running backs right now? Oh, boy. Nothing great. I could take Darrell Williams. And we are down to our final 2 picks here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take Darrell Williams just because I like that as a backup option, playing for the best offense in the league. And look, none of those guys were taken. Okay, great. So we'll take Irv Smith with our last pick here. And I'm interested to see how it rates this team. I'm interested to see. I'm feeling pretty good about this team, actually. So let's go ahead and do it. A B. All right. Hey, that's pretty good. That worked out pretty well. So the roster is all week 7 bye weeks. So again, that week is our weakest week. But we have Brady and Kittle that are not part of that, and those guys are both excellent difference makers. I love that. So Brady's our quarterback, and we've got Trevor Lawrence as our backup. We've got Zeke, Etienne, James Robinson, Zach Moss, and Darrell Williams are our running backs. Our wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Chase Claypool, Laviska Shenault. Love that. Again, the tight ends, Kittle and then Irv Smith. I'm pretty happy with this. And I usually don't take a second quarterback and a second wide receiver. A second tight end. But I did it here just because we got Brady and we got Kittle. So it still allows us to fulfill the strategy. I think this is excellent. You know what? I'm going to be right back. Hold on. All right. So looking at my app, I'm not the most thrilled with this lineup, but it's really good. And the thing I like the most is the value I got. Look at this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 players with top 60 value. So that's excellent. I've got Travis Etienne and Chase Claypool and Trevor Lawrence as designated as breakout players this year. I've got Kittle as a bounce back. I've got Shenault, Thielen, Brady, and Williams as all upside, upward. This is the upward trend. There are some negatives, though. I got some regression players. I got Jefferson, I got Thielen, and I got Robinson. All of them are listed as regression players. I got 3 injured players, Brady, Lawrence, and Moss. Now these guys should all be fine by the time the season starts, but I usually don't take that. Downward trend in Zeke Elliott. So it's kind of a mixed bag. There's upside and downside on all these guys. And so you can see that in the outlook. Their outlook is all over the place, not as strong as I like to see. Reliability, lots of high reliability. Only one player with low reliability, just George Kittle, just because of his injury concerns. And then consistency, pretty good. Only a couple of low consistency players. Again, I think the 80 is about right. I think it's about right where it's saying right here. So, is this a draft strategy that you could use? Well, I think it is. I think it's a viable strategy, and the fact that we modified it when we saw opportunities at the tight end and the quarterback position helped us out. It is not listing it as very, very great. I think it's what we say is this is a team that will be in the playoff hunt, but it wouldn't be a dominant team, right? But not bad, not good. I think it's okay. I think this is an okay strategy this year. With the level of offensive talent that you're getting from these 6 teams, I think you're fine. And just the fact that you will be at full strength for every single week of the season is another bonus. So I think that's a big thing to consider. So anyway, what do you guys think? What do you think of this team? Would you have done? What do you think? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, is this a viable strategy for you? Do you think it would work for you? I do like the fact that there is a large number of players available each round for you to choose from. That actually is very good. They're very spread out across the entire draft. That was really good to see. And I certainly would have liked it better had I gotten like an elite quarterback, so I wouldn't need to take a second quarterback. I hate taking a second quarterback. Something along those lines, gone early for Dak or for Josh Allen, and get one of those guys on the team. That probably would have improved the prospects. But overall, it's pretty good. So I'll go meh on the bye week strategy this year. Certainly better than it's been in past years. Not sure it's going to be one that's going to win you a championship, though. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the team and if there were any different players that you would have taken. But otherwise, have yourself a great fantasy day, everybody.